Hello beautiful students. Welcome to the online education platform Vivekananda Vigyan Charcha. Today we are going to learn about the neutralization reaction and hydrolysis reaction. So let's begin the topic. So students, from the topic only means from the name of the reaction only you understand that the reaction will neutralize something. Yes, but to whom it will neutralize? See students, I am writing an equation, general equation. See students, acid plus base yields to something plus water. See, neutralization reaction is nothing but the reaction between acid and base, and it will form something with water. And since water is the byproduct, for that only it is mentioned as or termed as neutralization. But what the product it will form? It will form nothing but salt. Salt will form. Okay students. So when acid reacts with base, it yields to salt and water. Water as byproduct. See students. Here we use this arrow sign. Yes. Why? See, when acid base reacts, when it is forming salt and the salt is neutral salt, yes, it should be neutral salt. When the salt will be neutral? When the acid and the base both are strong. Means when strong acid reacts with strong base, it forms neutral salt. And since the reaction is complete reaction, yes, okay students, this reaction is a complete reaction, so we use this arrow sign. But you may ask me that in a short video I mentioned that no reaction is complete. Yes, that is a different theory and this is a different theory. First understand, since this is a complete reaction means a neutral salt is forming. When strong acid reacts with strong base, a neutral salt is forming. No acidic salt, no basic salt. So this reaction is also termed as quantitative reaction. Means neutralization reaction is a quantitative reaction. Okay students, but not all neutralization reaction is quantitative reaction. We will learn detail about the neutralization reaction when we will read about the chapter acid, base and salt. That time we will see some different theories which carry out by the neutralization reaction. See, I told you that the neutral salt will form. Now you students may ask me that acidic salt or basic salt can be formed. Yes students, when strong acid reacts with weak base, listen the term carefully. When strong acid, the acid should be strong and the base should be weak. That time it will form acidic salt. And when the acid is weak and the base is strong, it will form basic salt. Understand? Now move on to the definition of neutralization reaction. See students, neutralization reaction states that the chemical reaction in which acid reacts with base alkali quantitatively to yield salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. General equation is acid plus base yields to form salt plus water. Now see students, why I write alkali beside base. See, when we will read the chapter acid, base and salt, we will use alkali term many times. See, what are alkali? The base which dissolved in water. Listen carefully. The base which dissolve in water are known as alkali. That's why a common sentence we use during acid base, that all alkalis are base but all bases are not alkalis. Why? Because there are many bases which doesn't dissolve in water. Okay students, so what are alkalis? Alkalis are those base which dissolve in water. Understand? Now students, I told you that neutralization reaction carry out some theories. Yes, in acid base chapter, when we will go detail on this neutralization reaction, we will learn about the Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory, and that time we will see that how acid base reaction carry out. Okay students, now move on to the examples. See students, before going to the examples, I have to say something to you. Since I am a mentor and this is with my experience, I am saying you that I see most of the students that what they do, they mugging up the definition of the books. So for that, what happened to them during the exams, they confuse. Yes, that they make hodgepodge in their mind. So many definitions are there in book that it is not possible to mug up all the definitions. So definitions is not important. Important is to clear the concept. If concept is clear, then you can write definition of your own. See, meaning should be same. Okay students, when you will write any definition, meaning should be same. It is not like that you change the meaning and write something else. Okay, meaning should be same and you can write the definition of your own. It is not necessary to write the bookish language only. Okay students, understand? Because it is science. It is not a mugging up the theories, mugging up the things which is written in the book. Concept, this subject is fully of conceptual. Okay students, and it is chemistry. Since concept should be more clear to write anything. Okay, understand? So always clear the concept first, then mugging up something. Okay students, don't do mug up fast. First understand the topic, clear the concept. If any doubt is there, always ask to your teachers that to clear out the concept, then move on to the definitions and write of your own. Okay students, understand? Now see the examples. HCl, hydrochloric acid when reacts with sodium hydroxide, and this sodium hydroxide is alkali. When reacts, it forms NaCl, C and water. We know sodium chloride is a salt, C. This HCl is strong acid and sodium hydroxide is also strong acid, and forming a neutral salt, that is NaCl. Okay students, Understand? See, it is not necessary that neutralization reaction will always be ionic reaction. Okay students, why? Because when we will study about the Bronsted-Lowry theory, we will see that it is in this reaction electrical charge may or may not carry. Okay students, so we can not say that it is purely ionic reaction. Now what will happen when sulfuric acid reacts with potassium hydroxide? Potassium sulfate will form K2SO4 and water. Water is byproduct. Okay students, now these all are aqueous. This NaCl, sodium chloride, this K2SO4, all are in aqueous medium. Now let's see one funda. When calcium hydroxide reacts with phosphoric acid, see this is phosphoric acid and H3PO3 is phosphorus or orthophosphorus acid. Okay, don't confuse between these two acids. This is phosphoric acid. When calcium hydroxide reacts with phosphoric acid, calcium phosphate will form. Ca3PO4 whole 2 and water will release. Now I told that I will show you a funda. Then what is the funda? See, in these two reactions, that is NaCl and K2SO4 salt, these are in aqueous medium, but in this reaction that calcium hydroxide reacts with phosphoric acid, calcium phosphate is forming. Good, it is also salt, but it will formed as precipitate and it is white in color. Okay students, understand? This is the funda, nothing else, that precipitate will form. Yes students, in neutralization reaction also precipitate form. Don't confuse. Okay students, don't be confused in reading chemistry. These are some funda. That's why chemistry is mystery, and this is one of the mystery. Okay students, when calcium hydroxide reacts with carbonic acid, it will form calcium carbonate. And it is also precipitate, CaCO3, white in color. Okay students, understand? Okay students, understand what is neutralization reaction? See students, this CaCO3 calcium carbonate, this is basic salt. Yes students, I told you that there are many types of neutralization reaction where different types of salt form, and this is one of them. See, calcium hydroxide is a strong base and this carbonic acid, this is weak acid, and when reacts it forming basic salt calcium carbonate and formed as PPT, white PPT. Okay students, you will see more further examples of neutralization reaction in acid base chapter. But don't put this calcium hydroxide in the strong don't compare this calcium hydroxide as strong compared to the sodium hydroxide. This is much more stronger, this sodium hydroxide and KOH, than calcium hydroxide. This is strong but not much compared than to the sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Now I will show you one mystery of this neutralization reaction. What is the mystery? See, neutralization reaction, you can understand from the examples only that it is also a double decomposition reaction. Yes, students, see what happens. H2SO4. See, all the acid should be in dilute, not concentrate acid should be used. You will always use dilute acid. Sulfuric acid when dissociates means when the acid, since it is dilute acid, means acid plus water. Yes, how we dilute the acid? We put water. Yes, acid, we mix acid with water and it dissociates and break down into ions. Yes, students, it will break down into 2H plus and SO4 2 minus and CKOH. It will also dissociate. It will form K plus and OH minus. Yes. Now what happens? Now how the reaction carry out? We see in the example that when sulfuric acid reacts with potassium hydroxide, it forms potassium sulfate and water. See, potassium will take this sulfate ion and hydroxide will take this H plus, and when potassium ion is mixed up with sulfate ion, it is forming K2SO4, and when OH minus reacts with H plus, it is forming H2. Yes, H plus plus OH minus forming H2. See, it is also an example of double decomposition reaction. This is neutralization reaction is also termed as ionic decomposition. What type of decomposition is this? Ionic decomposition. See, displacement of ions means that decomposition of ions is carrying out in this reaction. Yes, so from here we can say one thing that, see students, we can say one thing that acid depends on H plus and base depends on OH minus. Yes, correct. See, you will understand this more clearly when I will teach you hydrolysis reaction. Okay students, further we will go detail on neutralization reaction in the acid base chapter. Okay, before moving on to the hydrolysis reaction, say you one thing that neutralization reaction is of 4 types. What are they? First is when strong acid reacts with strong base. Second, reaction between strong acid and weak base. Third, reaction between weak acid and strong base, and reaction between weak acid and weak base. Okay students, now move on to the hydrolysis reaction. Now see, what is hydrolysis reaction? Nothing students but opposite of neutralization reaction. Okay students, what is hydrolysis reaction? Opposite of neutralization reaction. But here is one thing, don't write this in exam. Okay students, there is a perfect definition. Let's see what is this. What is that? See students, the complete dissociation of salt. Okay students, that is reaction between salt and water to form acid and base is known as hydrolysis reaction. But in this reaction most of the students get confused. Why? Because there are many types of hydrolysis reaction. We are only focused into the hydrolysis reaction of salt here. Mainly, what is hydrolysis reaction? When the compound reacts with water and complete dissociates into ions, that is only hydrolysis reaction. In organic chapter also there is hydrolysis reaction. In metal and non-metal chapters we will see what happens when metals reacts with water. So don't confuse between this reaction and those type of reaction. We are only focusing on the hydrolysis reaction of salt. Because why? Because as we are studying about neutralization reaction, so it is necessary to know about the hydrolysis reaction of salt also. It is the reverse reaction of neutralization reaction. So let's understand with the help of the example. When NaCl reacts with water, it forms Na plus Cl minus, means dissociates, plus H2O, and this H2O is also in the ionic decomposition matter. Okay students, so it will also formed as H plus OH minus, and hence the reaction will be sodium hydroxide plus HCl. See, I told you that acid depends on H plus. See what happens, this H plus takes Cl minus and forming acid. So basically acid depends on H plus and base depends on OH minus. So see, OH is there, OH minus is there, this is Na plus and OH minus. See, sodium reacts with OH minus to form base, so base depends on OH minus and acid depends on H plus. This is the funda. Okay students, understand? See students, hydrolysis reaction basically carry out by the strong acid and weak base and strong base and weak acid. Okay students, so yes, this is also the example of strong acid and strong base. This reaction also carry out, but it follows the Bronsted-Lowry theory. We will learn about it in acid base chapter. Okay students, let's see another example. Before moving on to the another example, let me show you something. What happens when water dissociates? Yes, water dissociates, means water gets break down. It forms hydroxide ion, that is OH minus, and hydronium ion, that is H3O plus, or in short we write as H plus. Basically what happens, that we say no, that acid depends on H plus and base depends on OH minus. See, Na plus Cl minus. Yes, now this is correct. I'm making some boundaries of Na plus and Cl minus. See, waves. Yes, these are hands of these ions. So what happens when NaCl reacts with water? It dissociates. Yes, Na plus and Cl minus, and also water also decomposing. See, hydroxide ion OH minus and hydronium ion H3O plus or H plus. Water is, I write like this, it will be more better. See what happens. Na plus and Cl minus. Na plus is bounded with, both are bounded with H2, but here is a funda. What the funda is? See, it's make more cringy. Write it properly. Okay, students. Yes, now it is more clear. So, when NaCl dissociates in water, when reacts with water, it dissociates into ions Na plus and Cl minus. So water is also decomposing and forming H plus and OH minus. So Na plus will take the OH ion like this. See, OH. See, Na plus is taking OH, and what the Cl will do? It will take H ion of the OH. See, it will be forming like this. See now, understand that why we use the term acid depends on H plus and base depends on OH minus. By this way, again from here H will be cut out, means it will again dissociates. Yes or no? Yes, because when Na plus is reacting with H2O, first of all it is forming like this. NaOH2 plus, and when Cl is reacting with H2O, it is forming like this. Cl OH2 minus. Yes, so what happens from here? H plus, and from here ClOH minus, OH minus gets released, and this H plus and OH minus reacts themselves and forming H2O. Understand what the main funda of hydrolysis reaction? Now move on to the next example. When FeCl3, it is acidic salt. When HCl reacts with ferrous oxide, when HCl reacts with FeOH whole 3, this salt is formed, that is acidic salt. When reacts with H2O, it's dissociate into Fe3 plus and 3Cl minus. Okay, and this, when Fe3 plus again reacts with water, 3 moles of water, it form FeOH whole 3. and this is a brown color, or you can also say as rust brown. Okay students, it's precipitated and 3H plus is released. This 3H plus takes 3 Cl minus and forming 3 moles of HCl. See, this is base, this is weak base, and this is strong acid. That's why when this weak base reacts with strong acid, it is forming acidic salt, that is FeCl3. Okay students, understand? Now let's see another example. Sodium carbonate is basic salt, and this sodium carbonate is also known as soda ash. Before going into the reaction, let me show one compound, Na2CO3.10H2. See, Na2CO3.10H2O. You know what is this? This is washing soda. See, this is soda ash and this is washing soda. What is the difference between these two compounds? This is the hydrated compound. Okay students, what compound? Hydrated compound. And this is normal sodium carbonate compound. So don't confuse between these. It will react with water, sodium carbonate, that is soda ash. This washing soda also reacts with water. What happens first? This 10H2O will release. Then it will form Na2CO3. So let's see here. When sodium carbonate reacts with water, it dissociates into 2Na plus and CO3 2 minus. Okay students, but this CO3 2 minus again reacts with water. Forming HCO3 minus plus OH minus. Again it will react with H2O and forming H2CO3 and OH minus. So total how many OH minus dissociates? 2 OH minus. Okay students, and at last this OH minus will react with Na plus and forming NaOH. See, this is strong base, and see, this is carbonic acid. Yes, and it is weak acid, and this carbonic acid will again decompose and forming H2 and CO2. H2O. Basically, when carbon dioxide reacts with water, carbonic acid form. Okay students, so how carbonic acid form? If anyone asks, you will say that when carbon dioxide reacts with water, carbonic acid is formed. But some difference is there between the first example, means previous one, and this one. In the previous example, H2O reacts with Fe3 plus, and here H2O reacts with CO3 2 minus. See, in the first one, Fe3 plus reacts with water because that one is weak cation, and CO3 2 minus reacts with water because CO3 2 minus is weak anion. How you will understand which one is weak cation and which one is weak anion? For the weak cation, you will understand the salt which is acidic. Okay students, acidic salt when it reacts with water, weak cation is formed. And for weak anion, weak base. Basic salt. Okay students, when basic salt reacts with water, weak anion is forming, and when acidic salt reacts with water, weak cation is forming. Okay students, see, Na plus is strong cation than Fe3 plus. Now you may ask how. See, sodium is releasing only one electron and Fe is releasing 3 electrons, sometimes 2. Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus. Fe2 plus is stronger than Fe3 plus cation. So Fe3 plus is weak cation. So we can say that the elements which release more electrons, those are weak cation, and the electrons which accepts more electron, those are weak anion. Okay students, understand? So in next chapter, that is in acid, this chapter is not fully complete, means in acid base chapter we will learn more detail about the neutralization reaction and also hydrolysis reaction. Basically in hydrolysis reaction we will learn, means we will focus on the salt chapter, mean the subtopic salt, to understand which are basic salt and which are acidic salt, and we will see more other salts also. So for today up to this much. If any doubt is there, then please comment down, and please like the video if you enjoy it and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel Vivekananda Vigyan Charcha. So thank you students, see you in the next video. And students, please don't comment me down that what is Bronsted-Lowry theory. I will give a detailed lecture on it in the acid base chapter. So for this chapter, types of chemical reaction, means the chemical reaction chapter, just understand up to this much for neutralization reaction and hydrolysis reaction. In the next chapter, that is acid base reaction, we will go detail on it. So thank you students.